Hey guys, Kev here. And I just had a friend ask me, what is Zircutai? What is Mokutai? What is Timascus, right? There's all these questions, and I'll be the first to say I'm not an expert on anything, so, take everything I say with a grain of salt, but I'm going to try to explain it the best I can, and then the comments section is where we're going to learn things, because there's going to be people who know more than I do, right? So I have a few or a bunch of items here that have Timascus, Mokutai, Zircutai on them, and I wanted to kind of walk through that real quick. So there's different ways of going about it. Now, one thing I want to start off with is there's also just titanium that is changed in different ways. You can anodize titanium. You can etch it. You can crystallize it. You can do things like that. So this is crystallized titanium. So from what I understand, this is just titanium, and then it's etched in a certain way. It's put in a certain solution so that it looks like this cracked ice kind of thing. And it's called crystallized titanium. It has all these cool colors and everything because it's been anodized and etched. And it's just really dope. So I have a few items in this. These are both from NJT Hand Power. I do have, I think, some others coming from different makers. Then there's something called Superconductor, which is a, I don't even know what it is. It's I think it's used in like tech, like for circuit boards and stuff, and it's basically like copper and stuff all infused and whatever, and then these companies take it, and it's expensive. They take it and they flame it or whatever, and it gives you these cool colors, but you can see there's kind of copper in there and stuff, but they etch it, right? They put it, when I say etch, what I think I mean, because I'm not an expert, again, is that they're putting it in some kind of acid solution, something like that, an etching solution, which is very dangerous for whoever's doing it. But essentially, that's superconductor and crystallized titanium. But Timascus is, you'll also hear it called titanium damascus, Timascus. There's different words for it, right? This is titanium damascus or Timascus, and essentially all that is layers of titanium. So they take layers of titanium, and I don't know if they fold them or weave them together or whatever they do, and that makes a cool pattern. And then I believe they anodize it after that. So then they change the color. So it doesn't just pop out this color, right? It's probably just different, maybe shades of gray, right? Because, titanium looks like this, raw or whatever. It looks like steel, honestly. It doesn't look, it would look like this, I guess. This isn't, this is machined or whatever. So that would be what titanium would look like. This has been blasted or whatever. That's why it's this color. But anyway, then they can anodize it, which is a whole other process where you can change the color of titanium, which is why, among many reasons, it's lightweight, it's durable, it's rust resistant, it's strong, it's got good memory. Titanium's a great material to work with for stuff that we like, manufacturing and stuff like that. So that's Timascus, woven titanium, right? Look at it that way. Have you ever heard of Damascus, the steel, where you get a knife and it's called Damascus, and it's like all these crazy swirls and colors, and not even colors, just crazy swirls and stuff in the steel, because it's basically different billets of steel, and they literally meld them together, and that's what gives you that cool color, or pattern or whatever. So it's the same process, but you're using it with titanium. And that's why it's Timascus instead of Damascus, or you call it titanium Damascus. Makes sense, right? They've also done it with G10, G-Carta. Or no, G-Mascus, not G-Carta. Damascus. Look up Hogue knives. They use this stuff called Damascus, and it's literally the same thing, but it's different G10s woven together, right? Woven, folded, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we've determined what Timascus and titanium Damascus are, right? So then take that and add Zirc to it. So we all know Zirc, right? Zirconium is this material right here, this black stuff, and it doesn't come black. Just like titanium, just like steel, it comes in this kind of raw color, right? But then most people, the application for Zirc, they heat it up. They basically torch the shit out of it, and it makes it super strong, and it gives it this cool black color. You can also have like a blasted black color. It's really interesting. I don't know if I have anything that's blasted Zirc, right? Oh yeah, right here. This is blasted Zirc, the outer part on this coin. And I like blasted because I get a better grip on it, right? But polished looks pretty. This is machined. This is polished, right? So if you add zirconium to Timascus, you get Zirkutai, which, if you think about it, Zirc, Tai. So you got titanium and you got Zirkutai. Some people call it black Timascus. I think I've heard it called dark Timascus, dark Tai. They're all kind of the same thing. And that is this. So what you'll see is you'll see specks of the Zirc inside of it, right? So you have layers of titanium and zirconium. So it's kind of like zirconium infused titanium, right? Now that's where it hasn't been colored at all. You can also get it where it's colored. This is Zirkutai. Now this to me looks more like Mokutai, and I'll get into that in a second. But they're telling me this is Zircutai, and there's different ways of doing things. So where one pattern might be like that, this pattern is like this. And the way you can tell it is Zircutai is you see the gray in there. The gray colors gives it away. The Zirc here wasn't blackened like it was in this, but you can see the gray, and that's what tells you it's Zircutai. So while these look very similar to me, one of them is Zircutai and one of them is Timascus. You don't see those gray colors in here, right? But you see those gray colors in here because that's got the Zirc in it. Makes sense to me. These are both made overseas in China, so that could be the way they do it. They tend to have it come out like that. This is also Zircutai. This is Chad Nichols' Zircutai, I believe. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Same with this, I think, is Chad Nichols' Zircutai. And essentially, it's just a dude who makes his own, right? So everybody can make their own stuff. So in China, at this factory, their Timascus looks like this. In China, at this factory, their Zircutai looks like this. Or maybe, for their purposes, the way they wanted the cylinder of Zircutai to look. Or maybe they used a block. I don't know how that works, but maybe it looks different than the application here, right? This, to me, I really like. I like the pattern on this. But I'm pretty sure this is Chad Nichols' Zircutai. So he makes it and then he sells it, right? And then I believe this is similar. It could be from someone else, but again, Zircutai, you can see the coloring in it. Has the gray and the black aspects, and that's what makes it Zircutai. Now this and this are also Zircutai. These are from NJT Hand Power, but these have been etched. So what I mean by that is, again, they were dipped or put into some kind of acid or formula or something, and it gives it this worrystone feel. It has like a really rough texture. Not really rough, but a rough texture, so it gives good grip, which I really like, and it looks kind of stone-like. But then he also colored it, I'm guessing, with flame. So he heated it to get these cool colors on it. And same thing here. This is absolutely gorgeous in my opinion. This is the probably nicest looking piece I own. You can see he cut the material perfectly. Look at that. They line up perfectly. It's just incredible work. But anyway, the coloring here, this is Zircutai. So the black, that's your zirconium in there. Then you have the titanium layers. And then he was able to flame or anodize or whatever the titanium to get that cool color. And he also etched it. It's a lot of work, right? So there's that. Then there's something called Mokutai. So this is where I think it gets a little bit confusing because people hear Mokutai, Zirkutai, Timascus. You know, you get all these things and it's like, what is it? So Mokutai is a different sort of process, but it's the same thing. So first you got to understand what mokume is. Mokume gane is basically the same thing. These are all just materials that are folded together and layered and whatever, right? It's all that. It's just what is it that's in everything, right? Mokume is layers and stuff of different precious metals. They use like, I believe, they use like copper, brass, bronze, nickel, that kind of stuff. More of the, what I call the smelly metals, the patina metals, we'll call it. That layered all together is how you get mokume, which you won't see here because I'm just not a mokume guy because I don't like patina. And my hands, everybody reacts differently to copper and brass and bronze. And so I don't have it because I just don't like the smell. I don't like the feel. I do have this one piece in bronze. I believe it's like an aged bronze. So imagine a bunch of layers of this and then add in copper and whatever, right? And that is how you get mokume gane. And then you take the mokume and you mix that in with layers of titanium. And that is how you get Mokutai. This is Mokutai from QSP. So I believe the way you can tell is you see the golds in there and stuff. And that might be a giveaway for it. It does tend to be like more purple from what I've seen. But you can see like goldish lines in it. Stuff like that. Like we have backspacers in it. And you just see that gold in there, kind of, right? But at the same time, this right here was sold to me by Brian Brown as Mokutai kits. So this is also Mokutai. So I don't personally understand how that is, how are they getting Mokutai, which would be mokume and titanium mixed together, and getting it to look like this. I see the purples, but I don't see a lot of the golds. But I guess, yeah, you can kind of see it in the color there. And then same with this backspacer, right? So this looks completely different than this. But that's because this is made by Riot, and this is made by QSP, right? And then this is actually a Zircutai backspace. No. Is it Zircutai or Timascus? I can't remember which one. It might just be Timascus, to be honest. I believe it is just Timascus. That's why there's no like black in there or gray. So even though these are sold by the same person, they are technically different materials as far as I understand. They look almost identical to me, and they're finished by the same company, Riot. But can you see over here? You can see that little bit of gold in there. See that? You don't get that here because it doesn't have the gold. It doesn't have the mokume in it. It's really cool to really look at that. I never really did. So you have Timascus or Zircutai. I'm not sure which one. I think it's Timascus. And then you have Mokutai. Very similar, yet very different. So I think that's really cool. And I find it interesting that a lot of the Chinese sort of made stuff tends to look like this, where it's got like the large, specks of things and everything. It's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but these all look the same to me, right? Not the same, but they look like they were made in a similar place or whatever. But then you get, stuff that's a little bit different, right? You get this stuff, right? This is the stuff I really prefer. I like when it looks like this kind of, which these are all different, so I guess I'm crazy. But I just find it really cool that, depending on who makes it, it's going to look different, right? But it's the same material and everything. And I do really like it like this, where it's just black and gray. It's probably my favorite type of Zircutai because it gives you the flash, but it doesn't stand out. You can keep your knife still kind of monochrome and everything. You don't have to have these crazy colors. But I do like just a pop of color, right? On some things. And then like this, it just happens to be full dress, but it's really nice because it's kind of the pieces. It's not, like the scales aren't made out of it or whatever. But anyway, that's a quick rundown sort of Mokutai, mokume, Timascus, or titanium Damascus, and then Zircutai, or black Timascus, dark Ti. Those are all the same. So there's all different names and things, but the bottom line, guys, is that it's badass. It looks cool as hell. I used to not be into it, but I'm really getting into it. I like a little pop of color. I like just having something unique. It's kind of customized to you and everything. I just think that's cool. And then price-wise, so just in case you want to know, Timascus and Mokutai are going to be around the same price range, right? Because you're thinking mokume and titanium weave together, right? Mokume is made out of copper, brass, nickel, that kind of stuff. It's not the more expensive metals, right? It's not cheap, but it's not the more expensive metals. And that's woven into titanium. And then you have Timascus, which is layers of just titanium. And I'm sure maybe they mix other stuff in there. I don't know. And you can just Google whatever it is you want to know. And trust me, you can read all this yourself. I'm getting most of this from Google and then my own experience and talking to people and whatever. But anyway, Mokutai and so mokume, in my opinion, at least from what I've seen, is the cheapest one of these. And then you have Mokutai and Timascus that are kind of together in a mid-range price kind of thing. And then Zircutai is the more expensive one. It's the most expensive one of the the stuff. Superconductor is more expensive than that, but that's a whole different material. But I guess it's kind of in the same, vein. But so if you see something and you see Timascus is this much, Zircutai is that much, why is it more? Well, it's because it has zirconium in it, which is expensive. Zirconium is one of the more expensive materials that people work with in our kind of EDC world. So, you take something that's already expensive and then you mesh it into something that's already, a bit expensive, titanium, and you do all that work and all that stuff. Well, it's going to be really expensive, right? Like this right here was $370, I believe. And this is a Zircutai Mackie Studio CP3. Absolutely fantastic. But that was $370. I have one in zirconium, and I believe these were like, I don't know, 180, 200 bucks new. So there's a price difference for you. And then the basic steel one of this is like 100 bucks. So you're talking 100, add 100 bucks, and then add 150 bucks. So, the price kind of goes up and up and up as you go. On the flashlight here, I have a titanium version of this. Let me grab that, which I love. It's my backup. So I have this titanium version. This was $400 and a quarter for the flashlight. This zirconium version was $900, right? So it's a $500 jump just to get polished zirconium. Totally worth it in my opinion, but that's a different story. Then you have this clip, which is made of Zircutai, and just this clip alone is $200, right? You can get one of these clips, you know, probably be like $50 or something. So $200 for the Zircutai clip. So things just get, you know, they add up, right? The whole kit for this, if you get the clip, the backspacer, and the pivot collars, which I don't have, these are just blue. The kit was, I believe, $160 for the Mokutai kit. And then if you got the Timascus or Zircutai kit, I think it was maybe like $10 more for that one. Because I think it was Timascus. I don't think it was Zircutai. And this knife right here, in its base form, is $380, I believe, or $370 I paid for the liner lock pre-order with my Carta. This one was $500, you know, so you add 100, I think it was adding about $150 to get all of the Zircutai on it. I think that's how it was. I think it was $360, and then it was like $460 if you got Zircutai instead of Zirk. I don't know. Anyway, it's usually $150 more. Mokutai again is more on the more affordable end. So like this clip alone would probably only be like $60. Like for Devo, we sell Mokutai backspacers. And we had these made, and they weren't as expensive to make. So we sold these for $35 for just the backspacer. We just had Zircutai ones made. They're on the way here. And those are going to be probably $10 more, maybe $15 more, because they cost more, right? That's just how it goes. So there's a breakdown for you. Get Good Screw makes this whole setup here in brass or copper, I think. And it's like $250, something like that. If you get this one in titanium Damascus, it's like $450. So you're basically just, you know, you're going to add a good chunk. It's going to double the cost, basically. You know, maybe a little more. So hopefully that helps, guys. I just wanted to run it down. Please let me know in the comments what I got wrong, what I missed, what else you want people to know. That's why we're here, to educate if we can, have a little fun if we can. And yeah, I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And I will catch you later.